Interruption, but I'm Mike Wilbon. We got the new year off to a really good start yesterday, Tony. You ready to keep it going?
I'm Tony Kornheiser. Man, we're on ESPN too.
Oh, so you weren't buying my fake hustle just now? You weren't buying that?
Oh, if you want to do that, yeah, if you want to be enthusiastic, and most of the viewers will realize it's not true, but it's okay. Welcome to PTI, boys and girls. In today's episode, how will Ole Miss cope with some coaches? Should the Raiders target Kurt Cignetti? And Jeff Saturday joins us for 5 minutes. But we begin today with John Harbaugh out as head coach of the Baltimore Ravens. The Ravens missed the playoffs on Sunday when Tyler Luke missed a game-winning field goal attempt. The team finished 8-9 on the season. But during his 18 seasons as head coach of the team, Harbaugh's record was 180 and 113.
Wow. And
13-11 in the playoffs, including a Super Bowl win in 2013. Wilbon, what do you make of this?
Tony, it's certainly after that big game on Sunday night between Baltimore and Pittsburgh, Harbaugh and Tomlin, it seemed like one of them was just destined to go. Like people had into the universe and somebody had to go. And now here is Harbaugh going. Here's what I do make of it, even though it's still somewhat surprising, given that Harbaugh, to me, those numbers in the Super Bowl make him a Hall of Fame coach to me. 18th all-time in wins, Tony. So Baltimore only, though, has 3 playoff wins with Harbaugh and Lamar Jackson in his 7+ seasons. Three playoff wins. In the meantime, Mahomes, I'm going to the other extreme here with Andy Reid, has 17. Even Josh Allen, in his 8 seasons, has 7 playoff wins in Buffalo. So I'm looking at Harbaugh and his offensive coordinator, Todd Monken, who the last 2 years just looked foolish too many times. And they wasted not only Lamar when he was healthy, but they waste Derrick Henry, a Hall of Fame running back, 2 years. 2 years, a long time in today's sports landscape.
I think Harbaugh is 12th all-time in wins.
12th, my bad.
And
okay.
this is, you've been after Monken for a long time.
Yes, I have.
And I understand the criticism. Their defense has fallen off a lot more than their offense.
Yeah, well,
so what you do is you fire the defensive coordinator and you fire the offensive coordinator, but you save the coach of 18 years who has won a Super Bowl before either of those coordinators got there. You say you're somewhat surprised. I'm stunned by this. I mean, Steve Bisciotti is not a quick trigger guy.
No, he's not.
This is 18 seasons. And to me, Lamar Jackson, you talk about Lamar Jackson is a great quarterback, but not in the playoffs. That is the explicable part of their record in the playoffs compared to these other people. Patrick Mahomes is the best player on the planet. I don't think you can compare anybody quite to him. I'm stunned by this. I get the thing about him playing against Tomlin. I get the drumbeat about maybe one will be gone or both will be gone or none will be gone. I would have chosen none will be gone.
Yeah.
None. So I look at this and I'm really taken aback. But I'll say this, if John Harbaugh wants to work again, he can have an open job in 30 seconds. 30 seconds, Mike. He has everything to recommend him.
But Tony, you mentioned Bisciotti. Harbaugh worked for the word solid doesn't do it justice. He, in some ways, an exemplary organization all those years. I ain't going to some of these other places that have openings right now just because they have openings. Then he'd find out how difficult it really could be.
If he wants it.
Yes.
But after 18 years, to think that you got fired because your kicker missed a 44-yard field goal, that's hard for me.
Tell your OC to hand the ball to Derrick Henry a little more often, and you might have won those games.
That is, as they say on the other shows, that's Overreaction Tuesday to me. We move now to the uncertain coaching staff at Ole Miss as the team prepares to play Miami in Thursday's college football semifinal. LSU's administration will reportedly allow Charlie Weiss Jr. to continue coaching Ole Miss's offense and Kevin Smith to continue coaching the Rebel running backs. Tight ends coach Joe Cox and passing game coordinator George McDonald are not expected to coach in the Fiesta Bowl. Wilbon, is the headline that Weiss is coaching or that others may not be?
Of that material, Tone, in this context, it's Weiss coaching. He's the offensive coordinator, and they've won a couple of games with him being the offensive coordinator, and good for them. But to me, the headline are the kids, the players at Mississippi, at Ole Miss, who come into a meeting room every day and they look around. They don't know who's leading the meeting. They don't know who's coaching them. It might be some dude from outside who's going to be there in the future because he just got there and he's carrying his Toomey bag on the way into Oxford. If you're one of those players and coaches talk about distractions and they talk about how you got to be locked in and they give you all this nonsense and it's not Weiss's fault, good for him for apparently saying to both schools, I'm staying here or I don't even come to LSU. Good for him. But this started with Lane Kiffin. This started with him and a certain selfishness as he collects hundreds of thousands of dollars for wins that the kids he left are putting in his bank account. How about the irony of that? That's the headline to me.
Yeah. So I understand your outrage, and I know you have never liked Lane Kiffin, and I don't have all that much to add to this, but what I would say is this. With all of this Sturm und Drang that's going on there, not knowing who your coach is, not knowing who's going to run the meeting, Ole Miss has won 2 playoff games. They're in the Final Four. Ole Miss's kids clearly have something inside that says we're better than this and we can continue to win. To me, the large drama here, and I always thought, as you know, I always thought Lane Kiffin should have been allowed to coach that team. I look at Oregon where there are 2 coordinators who are taking jobs, head coaching jobs at other schools, at Kentucky and Cal, I believe, and they're coaching both schools at the moment. So to me, the drama is Lane Kiffin sitting in LSU, watching what is going on, and what if Ole Miss under Golding, what if they win the national championship? Does LSU say, woo, maybe we extended ourselves too far for this guy. Maybe he's not the great coach we thought he was. I think the drama is inherent in Lane Kiffin. And as I said on the show yesterday, I'm rooting for an Indiana-Ole Miss final because I think those are the 2 best stories.
By the way,
they're the best stories by a lot.
I agree with most of what you just said, except one thing. In Oregon, they don't acknowledge the existence, they don't need to, of Kentucky. It doesn't even exist to them. That's where one of those coordinators went.
But their head coaches.
It ain't LSU and Mississippi. There's no relationship between those 2 places.
I'll give you that. I will tell you, I will concede that Lane Kiffin is the antagonist in all of this.
Yes.
But what I'm saying is that Ole Miss players
don't seem to care. You're right. Good.
Yes.
Great thing to point out. Good for them. I'm rooting for them. We move now to an intriguing piece of speculation from CBS Sports. Brad Crawford, their writer, wonders if Curt Cignetti might be interested in the open Las Vegas Raiders job. The Raiders have the first pick in the upcoming draft. Many boards have Cignetti's Heisman-winning quarterback at IU, Fernando Mendoza, as the overall number 1. Cignetti could take that job and bring Mendoza with him. Tony, could you see a Raiders-Cignetti partnership actually working?
This is a really cool story. There are lots of intriguing aspects to it, and to me, one of those intriguing aspects is the history of Curt Cignetti. Curt Cignetti moves. He does not grow roots in a certain place. He moves around. He was an assistant under Nick Saban at Alabama. Then he took the head coaching job at IUPUI. Then the head coaching job at Elon. Then the head coaching job at James Madison, and now the head coaching job at Indiana. And each step along the way, he took that job and moved up the ladder. Mike, to me, the coaching ladder ends with the NFL. It doesn't end with Indiana.
No doubt.
And I think that Curt Cignetti, his deepest belief is in himself, not the zip code that he's living in for however long he is living in it. And if he believes in Mendoza, if he truly believes in Mendoza, and he takes this job and he takes Mendoza, he has solved the toughest problem in football, which is the relationship between a head coach and a star quarterback. This is why at least I thought the Giants should have interviewed Lane Kiffin because he coached Jackson Dart, why we both think the Browns ought to talk to Dabo Swinney because maybe he can do something with Deshaun Watson. Look at what Sean Payton has done with Bo Nix. Look at what Liam Cohen has done with Trevor Lawrence. So that to me is the intrigue in taking the job.
Tony, the only but I'm going to have is a big one. You and I have talked about the Raiders over the last couple of days, sometimes off camera, sometimes on. They're broken. They're broken. The whole infrastructure is broken. It's not, 37-year-old Al Davis who is running the Raiders anymore. And the Raiders don't have so many things that to go out and use your resource to draft that quarterback, to take Mendoza, who we both think looks very, very capable at this point. Tony, to bring him in when you have so many other places that need to be fixed first, it seems real dicey, real risky. And I don't know that Cignetti, as good a coach as he is on the college level, can fix what's broken with the Raiders at the pro level.
Cignetti, right. He's got to want this and want that guy. And he's got to understand that the owner, Mark Davis, fires coaches all the time. After they got rid of John Gruden, he went through Bisaccia, he went through McDaniels, went through Antonio Pierce, and he just went through Pete Carroll, and none of them even got 2 years.
Yeah.
So you can fire coaches, but you never fire the owner. That's the problem. That's why I would not take this job. Let's take a break. Coming up, will the Bills go out to the Jags like Wilbon says? We're going to ask Jeff Saturday how vulnerable Buffalo is.
Yeah, they don't look very good. We're also going to ask him whether he favors the Packers or my Bears heading into their third game against each other in about 3.5 minutes.
I now refer to them as my Bears because I hear you say it all the time. The NFL playoffs begin this weekend, which makes it a perfect time to welcome back our great friend, ESPN NFL analyst Jeff Saturday. Let's start with this. Wilbon has the Bills going out in the first round to Jacksonville.
I do.
How vulnerable do you see the Bills as being now?
I think they're vulnerable, and I'll give you a few reasons. Everybody's talking about this is Josh Allen's, this is his best opportunity to win the Super Bowl and all this kind of stuff because of Mahomes and Lamar, but their team isn't as good. Like, their receiving core isn't as good. Their defense, typically as the season progressed for Buffalo, the defense has tightened down. It has not done that this year. So they are vulnerable on the defense side. They don't really stop the run. They run the ball well. But Josh Allen, on top of all that, looks banged up. Like, as you watch him, he's limping. Like, this is not the same. And could he have a heroic effort and win? Absolutely he could. I would never put anything past him. He's an incredible ball player. But I think if you look at Jacksonville and the way they played and the way they play defense, they're going to try to make Josh Allen beat him. I just don't know that there's enough around Josh. Has nothing to do with him himself, but the Bills themselves, I feel, are vulnerable because of areas that they're lacking from the team side.
Yeah, I'm rooting for them, as Tony knows, but I just don't see it. Okay, enough of this AFC talk. Let's get to the NFC, specifically my Bears, who head into the playoffs having lost 2 straight, versus the Packers, who've lost 4, but get Jordan Love back. Jeff, you've seen these two just play twice in a 3-week span. Does either have an advantage, and if so, who?
Ooh, I don't know that there's either team has a significant advantage, but I will say this. Home field matters, but the return of Jordan Love and Watson and the combination of that coming back, if you think about the Packers, I'm just telling you, if I'm Matt LaFleur and I'm sitting in that locker room, I'm saying, man, we had them twice, right? Like, we had a pick at the end to win the first one, but the last one, we had a 10-point lead in the fourth quarter, and we let them back in the game. They kick a field goal, they tie it, then they end up, on second, the whole deal, right? Like, don't give them a breath, right? Like, we had them where we wanted them. That was with Malik Willis. We got our guys back. He's encouraging that. So I don't know that there's a significant advantage, but if I'm Matt LaFleur, that's what I'm selling my locker room for this third time.
Yeah, which scares me, which is why I don't want to play the damn Cheeseheads for a third time, but we'll leave that for later, Jeff. Want to ask you about the Niners and the Eagles. I mean, it seems like these teams are going in all kinds of directions, and there's a turn of one every week. Which way are you leaning between the Niners and Eagles?
Yeah, my favorite matchup of the weekend. I'm just going to be real. I'm fired up for this one. And I thought San Fran was going to win out and get the home field advantage. Unfortunately, they played really poorly against Seattle. And I think the thing that was kind of the largest indictment for me was they were physically punished. Like, Seattle, don't let the score fool you. Seattle got after them. They pushed them around. And I think if you're Shanahan and you're looking and you're like, yeah, hey guys, like, we can't let 2 running backs being Walker and Charbonnet just walk all over us. And Seattle wasn't good in the red zone. Otherwise, it would have been even uglier. Yeah. And so scoring 3 points against that defense, the way that the Eagles are based, Vic Fangio, incredible defensive coordinator, he's going to try to make you beat him left-handed. I think I lean a little towards the Eagles and favor the Eagles because of the home field and their ability to run the ball, explosive plays, and then trying to limit what Shanahan and Brock Purdy can do on the other side.
We will get you out of here on this. The NFL Network is reporting that Philip Rivers could be an NFL head coaching candidate right now. You did this. You did this. Any advice for Philip Rivers, who has not coached at this level, has not done it before?
Boy, you better keep yourself in high school and enjoy the heck out of it, man, because it ain't just coaching. I can assure you. Yeah, he's plenty good enough to go coach. I have no problem. I could do the same. It's all the other pieces and parts you got to deal with, man. And a lot of those, you don't always get to pick the ingredients, and you don't get to pick the recipe, which makes it really difficult. He's done well enough in his life. He don't need the added stress. Would he be an addition to any team? Absolutely. But be careful what you wish for. You down in Alabama living the good life with them 10 kids, don't rush yourself out of that NFL. Enjoy them 10 kids, buddy. Yeah, enjoy your life. I can promise you on this side of it, I don't get heckled come Monday. Life is good on this side.
Key phrase, added
As always,
stress.
Jeff.
Added stress.
Thank you so much for
Thanks,
being on.
Jeff.
Thank you
Appreciate
so
it.
much.
Love you, fellas. Appreciate y'all.
Let's take one last break. Still to come, the Commanders split with offensive coordinator Cliff
told you.
Kingsbury. What does that mean?
I told you that was coming.
What is that about?
I still don't
Whoa.
get it, even though I thought it might happen. The Thunder lose to the Hornets. But was there a more notable loss in the NBA last night? Wow.
This is the first I'm hearing about Kingsbury. That surprises me. That surprises me.
Both coordinators.